just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, the health futures lose by.
Woo, 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 woo. Hello, everybody. This is Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. Thank you for being here. I'm excited and delighted to share with you some information that I know you're going to love. I'm actually going to give you insight to our newest add-on certification on people who want to become a gut and microbiome specialist. So we're going to talk about this thing called leaky gut. Now, leaky gut is not, it's not a medical term. So depending on who you talk to, when you hear leaky gut, some people will say that's not real. Other people will say, oh, it's 100% real. And the reality is that there's another name, and I'm going to share clarity on what that is. So I'm keeping myself on track and in order today. So I have some notes that I'm going to look at a little bit. But when it comes to leaky gut, the official term is intestinal permeability. So if you were talking to a doctor and you use the term intestinal permeability, they go, oh, yeah. Right? But if you said leaky gut, you know, a lot of people in the holistic world, people who are really advocates for better health, they understand gut health. It's okay. They basically mean the same, and we'll be talking about that. Now, before we dive in, I want to say thank you for being here. I want you to like, subscribe, say hello to my best friend. Well, that means hit the like button. On YouTube, make sure you share it. If you're on Facebook, make sure you hit like. But stay with me, because in the next 30 minutes, you're going to have a better understanding of the importance of gut health. And I'm only going to talk about one specific area, like one little tiny part of overall health, but it's a big part, if you know what I'm saying. Gut health. And then I'm going to share with you a little bit about this test that we have. Is a new gut health test. And if we have time, I'll play a video for you. And I think you're going to find that video extremely empowering. You're going to get, it's pretty motivating. However, let me bring up my slides. So I have a slide. Now, this thing to the right here, that is like through a telescope, that's inside of your gut lining. So we're going to talk about microbiome, and there's many microbiomes that relate to the body. Like you have a microbiome, which is, you know, a whole bunch of bacteria and molecules, microbes all over your body. You got a microbiome in your lungs, you got a microbiome in your mouth, and you have one in your intestinal tract is what we're going to be talking about. So basically from your mouth all the way to your anus, your butthole. Think of it like a water hose, right? And it's long, right? All the way through small intestine, large intestine, right? Your colon. There's all these microbes that are in there. So I'm going to go over some basics, and then I'm going to bring some real clarity to it. Now, let me change things up a little bit. I don't like that banner that we have, the USA banner for today. I need it to be a little less. There you go. You see what I mean? Like, let's get rid of too much movement. Okay, this will work. Now, let's take a baby step. And before we go into the gut microbiome and look at our microbiota, like all that people are referring to when they talk about gut health, let's just go over some basics when it comes to the gut microbiome. Okay. 70% of your immune cells, right? When we talk about immunity, is located in your gut. So when a person says they want to be healthy, okay, then being healthy means you have a strong immune system. Well, if 70% out of 100% is your gut, then that right there is a sign that we need to take the gut very seriously. So I believe the consensus can be that we all can agree to that. So if 70% of your immune function, your cells, when we're talking about immunity, is in your gut, and that's your gut health, that's your microbiome, using these words interchangeably, then we know it's important. Okay. Now, under that, you can see on the screen that 90% of serotonin, which is a hormone, most people know of serotonin based on mood, right? Because it's a key hormone that stabilizes our mood, feelings of well-being, and happiness. And it also plays a big role in our sleep. So serotonin is important. Well, guess what? 90 to 95% of all serotonin is produced in your gut. So we know the importance of the immune system as it pertains to our gut. We now know that the gut plays a huge role in how we feel, how we think. Those antidepressant drugs that people take, and there's a lot of people taking those drugs, they're called SSRIs. We're talking about serotonin. So serotonin is important. And if 90% of something that your body produces is taking place in your gut, I think we all could agree that the gut must be very important. Okay. And what's taking place in the gut. Then we have this thing called dopamine. Dopamine plays a role in how we feel pleasure. Now, have you guys heard of those drugs, the GLP-1 drugs like Wegovy, Ozempic, Zepbound, and the list goes on and on? Part of what those drugs do is they take away or reduce your dopamine, so you don't have the same desire or want to eat. But what you don't hear about is that also interferes with your desire for a lot of other things that you would find pleasure in, right? Intimacy, drinking alcohol, maybe that's a good thing. Like the things that you would normally have a desire or want to do, you don't have because it suppresses your dopamine. So dopamine is important. And when dopamine is suppressed, you have increased risks of suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety. So we want dopamine. Well, 50% of it is produced in the gut. Again, another reminder that the gut's important. And then fourth, I mentioned influences calorie expenditure. That balance or health of your gut plays a huge role on how many calories you burn every day. Another reason why the health of our gut is important, right? Some of you are struggling with weight loss. You're eating the same thing as someone else, but for some reason the weight's coming off with them. What? It may have something to do with the balance of your gut, your microbiome. The gut microbiome is considered the second brain, right? So we have this brain and we got the second brain, the gut. Someone that I grew up admiring, Dr. Candace Pert, she's the woman who discovered the opiate receptor. And she used to talk all the time about the idea that people will feel it in their gut before something happens. I felt it in my gut. And what she was saying, she had this whole thing, I think the title of the book was Molecules of Emotion. And we're talking about molecules. You do feel it in your gut. You can sense it in your gut because our gut is our brain and our brain is our gut. They are one in the same. Okay. Then the last thing Your gut is a primary driver of a hormone called insulin. See, many people think that when you consume sugar, that's what causes insulin, the hormone, to be secreted, because insulin is usually linked to like type 2 diabetics, someone who's concerned with blood sugar. Maybe you're a type 1 diabetic, you have to inject insulin because your body doesn't make it or produce it. So insulin is a storage hormone, and it plays a huge role in why we gain weight and why we may have a tough time losing it. So insulin is important. And let me tell you, there's been many studies, and I can show all of them to you. Okay, we'll do this another time, where we would inject sugar, glucose, into the vein with an IV, and then have a person consume the same amount of sugar. And we would see the insulin response, like more insulin response, more of what goes inside of your gut, what you swallow, and faster. So think about it. You can inject the sugar directly into your vein, or the person can consume the sugar, and what they consume, we see more insulin being released compared to what we inject directly into the vein. See, what takes place inside of our gut, you guys, is critical. It is critical. Gut health is health, right? So it's not just symptoms. I'm bloated. I don't feel good. I got anxiety. I'm irregular. No. Your gut health is health. So my personal trainers or people who want to help other people with gut health, I provided a link. It's a very easy course. If you've been to any of my courses, you're going to be like, this is a good one. Okay, it's a good one. I'm getting certified with everybody else. Can't wait. I'm not putting it off. Now, you may not even want to help people, but become a coach or a specialist for your own gut. Then you don't got to ask people questions. You will know. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the lesson that I'm going to share today. So I titled it kind of Up Close with the Gut Microbiome. I also titled it Leaky Gut, Gut Health, and Microbiome Clarity, because we're going to talk about that. Okay. Now, this thing right here, and let me put myself side by side. Okay. So this beautiful picture, one day I'm going to get someone to actually make a painting for me. Those jelly bean looking things, okay, that's bacteria. And there's a whole bunch of bacteria, trillions of bacteria, different families, different names. I call it the jelly beans over there. Okay, so, and you have what they call, I don't like to use this term, but they have good and bad. But your gut microbes, the bacteria, they have a synergistic relationship, if you can say that. Meaning, if you get too much of the not good bacteria, it can be harmful. That's not good. You're out of balance. And when you're out of balance, that's called dysbiosis. We don't want dysbiosis. A lot of people have it and don't know they have it. You want everything to work together. Okay. Everything working together. So remember all those colors, that's bacteria. Okay. So we got that. That middle highway there in the middle, that's a mucus layer. And that mucus layer is very important. Like very important. It's like it separates the good from the bad, even though it's not really separating the bad, but the potential of something bad. And you want that mucus layer to be very thick. Okay, a thick gel. Okay, and I'll be talking about it more. But that's our mucus layer. So just keep that in mind. So we got the jelly beans, which is the bacteria. We have the mucus layer that we want thick. Okay, just like that and wide. And then you have the intestinal wall, your intestinal, the endophilia, like it's the part that protects. So imagine like if this is like this hole right here, let's say that's the water hose. That's the intestinal tract. You have the bacteria and everything here. You got the mucus here, but the mucus layer is like a wall that protects that bacteria from being able to get through the wall and into our bloodstream. And we don't want a lot of things inside of our gut to seep into our bloodstream. So that mucus layer, that wall, is protecting us. So you wouldn't want that wall to be thin. You want it to be thick and wide. That's the fence. And we want the fence to be like sealed. If it's got holes in it, it's a little, some of the things are missing. That's what they mean by poor intestinal permeability or leaky gut. Now you have toxins and certain things that can seep through, get into the bloodstream, and show up and cause inflammation in your body, which is not good. Okay, so is everybody good? Okay. Now there's ways that you can test and see how strong your fence is, your mucus layer. It's not typical. And as I mentioned, leaky gut's a term that's not officially used. The correct term would be intestinal permeability. But what happens is when that permeability is broken down, it plays a role in diseases like celiac disease, Crohn's disease, IBS, and many metabolic disorders. The consensus is not there between the doctors and a lot of the holistic people, but we know that there's a mucus layer and it's important. And there is evidence that's growing, by the way. And the bottom line is this: leaky gut and intestinal permeability describe the same biological process. And a weakening of the gut barrier, that mucus layer, that's the gut barrier, allows unwanted substances to enter the bloodstream and trigger inflammation when it's leaky. So I'm just going to say leaky gut. Okay, can we just go there? Okay. So I wrote down some notes and I want to make sure I want to cover each one of them because this mucus layer is so important. And when it breaks down, as you can see right here, to the left, the microbes, you got the mucus layer, right? We got the wall. We want to make sure everything is sealed. And when things are not sealed, there's gaps. And when there's gaps, you can notice the mucus layer is not as strong. And those things we don't want in our bloodstream get there. And it shows up in a whole cascade of health problems that are all driven by inflammation. So that mucus layer is very, very, very important. Okay. So I wrote down, I have what I want to share with you guys. 7 things that we know break down the mucus layer. So I'm going to show that in a little bit. Okay. So let's go back to this. We don't want to break down the mucus layer. So I want you to see this as I walk you through these 7 things. Okay, let me see it. Anybody got any questions? Feel free to ask. Okay, because this is very interesting what I'm about to share with you. So, and what I've learned in life is that if you know what causes the problem, to make it healthy, don't do the things that cause the problem. Right? Okay. That should be pretty simple. Don't do the things that cause a problem. So what will mess up that barrier, that mucus layer? If you don't get enough fiber, dietary fiber, that thins your mucus layer. Oh man, wait till I'm going to share something with you guys that's going to freak you out in a good way. It's going to be good information. See, your gut depends on dietary fiber. to produce these things called short chain fatty acids. Okay. And you'll hear me talk about that more and more and more, especially as people get this gut health test that we have. If you're not getting enough fiber, that's not good. It's going to mess up that barrier. Okay, that's number one. Number two, high processed foods, to include seed oils. That's oils that are high in linoleic acid. So like when you eat, let's say you buy mayonnaise and it has soybean oil in the ingredients, that's a seed oil. That creates disruption. It messes up your barrier. Safflower oil, sunflower oil. We have the terrible 10, and you want to avoid them at all costs. Do the best you can. And instead go for things like extra virgin olive oil, extra virgin coconut oil, extra virgin avocado oil, extra virgin palm oil. Make sure you see the word extra virgin and you're safe. Now, most people, and I'll share this in my talk tomorrow in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, will say they use avocado oil. But let me let the cat out of the bag. I'm willing to bet those who are in attendance that say they have avocado oil, that if they went home and took a photo and text me the photo of their avocado oil, we will not see the words extra virgin, which means it may be soybean oil. We don't know. Most of them are adulterated unless you see the words extra virgin. Okay, so processed food messes up that barrier. Chronic stress. Chronic stress. As a business person, a father of teenage daughters, I'm looking at, there's a whole different stress that I've been looking at the last couple of years. And so I'm aware of it. And I actually do take time and breathe, try to relax, go work out, do something that's going to help reduce your stress levels, because what you think about can play a huge role in creating disruption inside your body. Okay. Overuse of antibiotics. Now, I know most of us know someone in our family and they're always sick or feeling sick, and they're always being pumped with antibiotics. Antibiotics, you'll hear me say that it can wipe out all of your bacteria. Well, it's like a flood coming in, as you can see on the screen. It's going to knock out your mucus layer. It's going to knock out a whole bunch of healthy bacteria. It's like, big old giant like storm coming in and just bleaches everything. And then you got to replenish it. You got to rebuild that wall. You got to repair that fence. And most people don't. So they may have a mucus layer this wide and strong. And then when it gets wiped out, they may repair it and it's no longer as big as it once was. Then they get more antibiotics and it keeps getting smaller and smaller. And then it's like they can't even get out of it. It's like they're stuck. It's like they're like on a hamster wheel. Alcohol and excess, smoking cigarettes, excess can also damage that thing. And then a dysbiosis, which can be because you have an overgrowth of certain bacteria. And then that creates that disbalance, and that will mess up your fence. And poor sleep. And drum roll. So this is number 7. Check this out. Poor sleep and low intake of omega-3s. This is the science. Now, we know in America, about 99% of everybody that we know, kids and adults, are not getting an adequate amount of omega-3s. So you take that, people complaining about sleep, you got stress. That big mucus layer is hurting. And according to the CDC, we know that 9 out of 10 people are not getting enough fiber. Guys, this is real. So now I'm going to share with you. Let me see. What did I write down? And I wanted you guys to get this because not everybody's going to be able to take my course, and you can learn some of this and apply it. Or you may want to really understand the gut, and hey, we would love to have you. And the very first one I'm going to do is going to be live. So I'm going to be announcing the dates here soon. Now, you don't have to be there live because it's on demand. You can take the course when you want, but because it's brand new, I'm going to have an intimate opportunity with the people who are in the live, and I'm going to do it twice. And then I'm going to take the best of all of that and make that available to people who decide they want to become a gut health and microbiome specialist, or a gut and microbiome specialist. Okay, so what's going to keep that mucus layer thick? Number one, getting enough prebiotics, which is fiber. So you get prebiotics from fiber, but not all fiber is a prebiotic, right? So you could go buy a muffin at a 7-Eleven and look on the package and it'll say it has a certain amount of fiber. But I'm telling you right now, there's no prebiotics in that. Prebiotics is what gets into the gut, and I'm going to show you, and it makes it where it thickens that mucus layer. And when you don't have enough of that type of fiber, it weakens it. And the bacteria starts eating the mucus layer. Yes. The bacteria starts just eating up on it, thins it out because there's no fiber there. So a balanced microbiome would be helpful. Omega-3s and polyphenols, they're both prebiotics, so they help. Adequate hydration, and make sure you get enough electrolytes, and make sure you get sleep and control your stress. So like I said, is don't do the things that cause the harm. All right, so now let me show you a couple. Let me show you what I'm excited about. Okay, let me be the one. All right, I think you guys can see that. Okay, I wish it was bigger, but anyway, let me put it up here in the middle. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so if you can see that, when you get enough fiber, and they've done many studies with mice, and we know this to be true with humans. But if you look, the bacteria, I flipped everything. So on the far right now is the jelly beans. And on the far left, where it's blue, that's the intestinal wall. And then you have the mucus layer in the middle. Now, that's a pretty healthy mucus layer. Now, where you see all those little yellow spots, that's fiber. That's prebiotics. And when the prebiotics are mixing with the bacteria, which is on the right, the original picture, it was on the left, the jelly beans, right? They're on the right now. It creates short-chain fatty acids, which are very important for keeping that mucus layer very strong. So there's plenty of fiber there, which means that mucus layer will be strong and thick. Okay, now watch this. Here's someone who doesn't have a good, look how thin that one is compared to the one on the left. This is with the microscope. You don't see much fiber. The bacteria is taking over and is literally eating that mucus layer. And as it gets closer and closer, that what was sealed starts to be leaky. And that's where the word or the term leaky gut comes from. Okay, now you know when you have a picture, you can see it, then you go, oh, now I get it. And then you reverse engineer. Okay, we all have bacteria. If I'm not getting enough fiber, my mucus layer is going to be not as thick. I'm then more vulnerable to experience bloating and skin conditions and challenges with losing weight and not feeling good and lack of energy. So a big solution for a lot of this is to make sure you get not just fiber, but prebiotics. Now, a product that I endorse, Balance Oil. It has omega-3 fatty acids in it, which is great. I know, and now you know, that omega-3 is a prebiotic. Not only does it do these wonderful things on us to our cells, it's helping with that mucus layer, it's helping with gut health. And it has polyphenols in it, the Balance Oil. And polyphenols are a prebiotic also. Right? So polyphenols are like antioxidants. That's what gives a red bell pepper the color red, or orange, like that you eat fruit, the color orange, or the banana, the color yellow. So polyphenols are very protective to our cells. It helps to protect many things in our body, to include omega-3s. And they act as a prebiotic and can help produce all of the needed short chain fatty acids that we need in the gut to make our mucus layer strong, thick. Okay. A good way to remember all of this is you want your gut microbiome to resemble the rainforest. You want to see nothing but plants and green and just beautiful colors. When you don't get enough fiber and your gut is in harm's way, it's going to look more like a desert. And we don't want a desert. Now, let me see. I may show you guys something, but let me show you something. So we have this gut test, and it's a gut health test. And as a gut health test, you can do it at home. In 10 to 20 business days, you get your results. If you're not going to completely change the way you eat and make sure you get a good amount of fruits and vegetables, they have a product called Xenobiotic. And it's a good amount of prebiotics in it, and it has dietary fiber. And that may be the thing that you need to strengthen up and restore what's out of balance in your gut. And this is some innovative stuff, you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video for you. Okay. You guys got time to watch a video? It's a short video because one of our lead scientists and partners, I really like this guy. His name is Dr. Colin. And he was on the news the other day. And he's telling the people on the news about the new gut health test. So instead of me talking about it, I'm going to be about it. And I'm going to watch it with you. Okay. So let's check this out. Dun, dun, dun.
Special guest from leading Scandinavian health and wellness company Zenzino, Dr. Call. So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me along. Nice to speak.
Yes, definitely. And we're excited to learn more about today's big announcement. So tell us about this exciting new gut health test. What is this?
Well, that's exactly what it is, Jordan. It's a gut health test. And I know that it's going to automatically startle some people. And they're going to say, well, how are you measuring the gut? And the gut gets measured in different ways. And really, this is the culmination of years and years worth of research and focus that we can actually look at the gut differently. We know more now about the gut than we ever did. And what we are bringing to the world is the first of a kind test that is not going to just tell them what's in the gut, but also how the gut functions, and more importantly, how they can optimize their gut health. So it's a very, very new, based on the best evidence and research. And dare I say, it's going to change the way things are done.
How does that test work?
So instead of just looking at different strands of bacteria, which has been dominant in the area of what people call gut or microbiome testing, what we've done is that we've been able to identify key kind of microbes. We're looking at metabolites. We're looking at things that and how they function within the gut. So we're looking at things like IPA and kynurenine. We're looking at tryptophan. We're looking at the relationship of these things, because this tells us far more far more provocative data and information about how your unique gut is functioning and what you need to do from a dietary point of view to optimize that, either to restore your gut, to optimize gut health, because I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again. The gut is the center of the human universe. And we've known that for thousands of years, not just 5 years or 20 years. And if you address the gut, you address the entire human biological ecosystem. All it takes is a single drop of blood. It's what we call dry blood spot sampling. It's a particularly refined technique, so you don't need to reach into the toilet anymore. Those days are gone. There is nothing horrendous. You don't need to prepare yourself emotionally. It's a single drop of blood on a piece of paper. You return that to us, you follow the instructions, and then you've got your test results back to you, just to you, anonymously, in less than 2 weeks.
I think that's fantastic. So tell us about your third-party testing and what people can expect after doing the gut health test at home.
We utilize the Vitas laboratory in Norway. They're not a part of our company. We utilize them for testing. They've spent, 3 years at least purely focused on developing the specific laboratory techniques and methods that can verifiably measure these things, quantify them accurately, consistently. So
Okay, let me just stop it just for a second. I have to do that sometimes for the algorithms so people don't get mad for copyright. Vitas is a third party, has nothing to do with the company that puts out the tests. The test goes to the third party, and this laboratory is it is the most respected, validated, verified laboratory that does this type of testing in the world. They're so amazing and so impressive, right? That Harvard, Tufts University, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, I mean, the list goes on and on. They all use this laboratory. They're based in Oslo, Norway. And so when you get this test, which is very affordable, all you do is put it in the mail, right? And in 10, 20 business days, you get your results and you will know, right? So I'm going to end by sharing with you like one of the key things. And there's 5 key things that you learn about the test that will give you direction. Because I've watched people get stool tests, and all you learn about with a stool test, for the most part, is all the different bacteria that you have, the names, if you have more of one compared to another, and maybe some suggestions, and all those suggestions will be the same. Eat less processed food, drink more water, maybe start exercising. That's always going to be the same, but it's not going to tell you exactly why you're experiencing that bloating, why you're experiencing certain things, and then give you direction on exactly what to do. So I'm going to share with you one of them that he's talking about. So I'm going to let this finish out, and then we'll close with the one thing, one of many things I could share, but one thing I believe it'll help you get it. And if you don't have the gut health test, it's something that I would definitely plan on getting. And if you want to help other people with their gut health, I would encourage you to check out, the certification that I have made available, which I wasn't going to launch until February of 2026. But because the gut test became available sooner, I was like, let's burn some oil. And I had to just pick up the pace. And I'm happy because I've done these courses before on the microbiome, but I never made it where I took all of that data and all the courses I've done over the years and just streamlined it so that people will become very knowledgeable and have total clarity. As I've shared with you today, I mean, this is nothing compared to what we do in the course. I mean, you really get to learn about the gut. Anyway, let him finish and then I'll close it out. Okay, here we go.
So that we know that when we give information back to people, it stacks up. It's reliable, it can be interpreted meaningfully, and then they're empowered to make a positive change.
Yeah, that's great. And for those viewers who might not be familiar with Zinzino, what can you share about the company and the product offerings?
Zinzino are literally on a campaign to change the way in which health is done around the world. I'm very, very proud and privileged, in fact, to be their chief product officer and also the person who leads the science strategy. It's really important, more so now than ever, that a company is measured off its values and its ethics, and above all else, We are here to change health, to improve health all across the world. And we do that with everything we do. With every test that we offer, we're world leaders in fatty acid profiling, omega-3 testing. We have the single most effective omega-3 supplement in the world, and we follow that through with food supplementation that has food-like functionality. It's effective. It is the, well, I say this to lots of people, so why not say it here? It's the antidote to the modern diet. It's so hard to change dietary behavior. And what we do is we enable people to make that easy.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. You've sold me. So how can viewers and I learn?
Okay, well, there you go. Wasn't that cool? Colin's so well spoken. I really enjoy how he talks. Okay, so with the test, you get this one. Well, there's 5 key takeaways when you get the test done, and one of them is that you get a level of what they call IPA, and we all produce IPA, and your bacteria is the foundation to how much IPA you're going to produce. And IPA is indole 3-propionic acid. It's a protective compound made by certain bacteria in your gut. And it strengthens that gut barrier, what we've been talking about. Strengthens it. It then reduces inflammation, and it nourishes, going back to the mucus layer, mucus producing cells. And you want that to be elevated. So in the test, you're going to find out if that's elevated or if it's too low. And if it's elevated, then a lot of the things you're doing is great. And then it looks at another thing, kynurenine is a stress metabolite linked to imbalance or immune imbalance and inflammation. If your kynurenine is elevated and your IPA is low, that's not good. So you'll be instructed or given guidance on how to get the IPA up and the kynurenine down. And when that happens, you have that symbiotic relationship, which gives you a balance that affects or impacts your immune system, your metabolism, inflammation. I mean, a win, win, win. So now my tests are on their way. I got tested, had to, and can't wait to share my results because I know I'm going to be in balance. And that's not being cocky. I know because of how I eat. I eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. I take the xenobiotic, this product in the middle. I take the balance oil every day. Don't miss a day. Very proud of that. So if my numbers come back not good, I'll be like, what? And I know they're not going to come back good. They're going to come back great. So it's just going to give me confirmation that what I'm doing is the right thing. And if they did come back wrong, I'm going to have clarity on what I need to do. And thank God I had the test done because here I am living life, assuming I'm good, and I may not be. But soon when my results come back, I don't have to question that. I will know, right? There's no guessing. So anyway, I wanted to share all that with you today. Any questions for me about anything that I covered? So let me go back, take you guys back, all these cool slides. I wanted to go there. This is how I want to end out. You know what? No, I don't want to end out on that. Let's go back for it. Because I had it set up to end out here. Let me take a look on Facebook. Leaks in. Let's see who's paying attention. Any questions? Okay, I noticed Carmela was on. What's up, Carmela? Big shout out to you. Lynn is on. She mentioned Candida. I'm not sure exactly. I think there may be a question there, but she said that her avocado oil, she has extra virgin. Well, I'm glad you caught us live there, Lynn. Whoop, whoop, everybody. There's some I can't see at the moment. Sandy Silver's in the house. Sandy knows what's up. Sandy is rocking and rolling. I can't wait. Sandy's like me. She got her test. The one and only Veronica is in the house. Veronica, she got her test. So we're all on it. We're in it. We're making it happen. So anyway, if I missed your question, trust me, I didn't miss it, because if it's on Facebook, I will shoot over to Facebook. I'll scroll through, and if I could answer any question that came up, I will, but I will hit a like on you so that you know that I saw you. So I will acknowledge you. In the future, come over to YouTube when I go live, because I see everything easily on YouTube. Sometimes Facebook blocks certain things. And if you come over and subscribe and like, and make sure you hit the all button, so that anytime we upload a new video or go live, at least you'll know we were there. You can always come back and you can listen into the replay if you don't catch us live. All right. I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you for giving me a chance to share this information. I hope you have a better understanding of what leaky gut is. I'll be talking about it again and again and again. Trust me, because gut health truly is how you optimize your best health. It plays a huge role in overall health. They call it the second brain. I believe it's going to be the first brain. It's just a matter of time. Until the next time. Peace out, everybody.
There's a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With the teaching you food choices to see it through.